You know, you had a tabletop gathering last week, and I hear it's a continuous process. What do you hope to accomplish with this? I know you're meeting with the DOE, UOG, GCC. I know in years back, when was it? When they had one board basically that had all the different institutions in one, and collaboration was happening. Unfortunately, that's not what's going on at this point. You're having separate meetings. At what point are we going to come together and collaborate? Because we see GCC excelling, kind of moved away a little bit from the Voltec. Then UOG now, you know, I mean, they got a good, you know, their audit comes about good. DOE, there's something missing when we have, these are feeder schools, and one is excelling, then the other one is, and then where they really start, it's not shining, not quite the star.
Well, and so Table Talk is really an opportunity for them to come to the table and just talk about anything and everything. We, of course, Speaker always has oversights, roundtables, public hearings as needed, and we always run into them in functions. But I just thought if we had an unstructured time, sit down and talk about whatever's on your mind. And it is separate, but if they ever say, you know, I'd like to meet with GCC and UOG, then that's what we'll do. But the collaboration communication opportunity is there. And then from there, I always share with the speaker what was talked about. And the last time, it was DOE who showed up, and we talked at length about the teaching footprint and that whole planning that we need to kick in. We talked about charter schools. We talked about some other things that really, they're not driven by public laws. And you don't need to have sound practices all driven by laws, but rather what can we do to help, right? And what do we need to know to better drive whatever policies that Speaker and I are looking at? And so it's just to foster collaboration and communication. And last time it was like a 2-day notice, and so the President, who is off island, as you know, and Dr. Okada, there was too short, so Dr. Okada is leaving, or she may be gone already, but next week, or the next time, they will be at the table, and just, what do you want to talk about? Or there might be something that Speaker and I think, we really want to know what they're talking about, and I'll throw that out, and I'll go, what do you think?
You know, and one of the things that bothers me when although it's great to have, but it bothers me when I say, you know, let me drop out of high school, because I can always finish up at GCC. I mean, and that's not the mentality. You know, that should be reserved for extreme cases of not having to complete, you know, your high school, and then maybe later on because something came up in the family or things like that. But to have that mentality, and I hope that we move away from that. I hope that the collaboration in regards to that you can always finish school here. Yes, you can, but really that's not the ideal. We want you to enhance your learning experience right here amongst your peers. And I don't know, you know, charter school is another thing. Speaker, you champion that. The unfortunate thing is, you know, the law's there. The law's been tweaked. It still needs to be tweaked. In some municipalities, charters work very well. In other municipalities, they don't work at all. How do we know that at least, I think there's only one school that's chartered at this point, right? Okay, that charter is going to work. And what have we changed, or what are we going to change now for maybe other institutions or other folks who want to put a charter together?
Unfortunately, because this is the first school, the Guahan Academy, that they're going through all the growing pains of actually testing the law and see then how it would work. And I just had a meeting this afternoon with someone who's trying to help them to be able to see how then the monies now can be transferred from DOE to them. The law created a separate fund. Senator Yamashita met with DOA and other stakeholders, and they were able to create that account. I think the stumbling block now would be identifying, at least from my understanding, is where then the money should come from in an object category in DOE's budget. But it's very specific for the charter schools that it talks about the monies, $5,500 per child for their operation. And then when you look at the DOE budget, how it's broken down, it's that it has personnel as an object category and operations. So it stands to reason then that if you're talking operations, then it should come out of the operations budget. So that's what we're trying to work with right now with the department. I understand that they have brought in somebody who's, you know, with a former school principal, former even superintendent, that now be able to help them on the business aspect and operations of the school. So I think we're going to see them, you know, come along now much further than where they were last year.
Now let me ask you this, because we talk about infrastructure. Okadu is being extended out. At some point, we have to realize with this sequestration and also our government's, you know, economic situation that it's in, at some point we just can't fund everything. Education, of course, being number one, but health and public safety are again aspects that, you know, if you're not healthy, you can't go to school on all that. But our conversations on the table, again, to look at easing up the overcrowding situation is that we may have to go to year-round school. Is that a possibility? I know we tried it. It's probably, you know, we tried it. I mean, it was let go. But is that a possibility again to curb the overcrowding situation and again to buy us some time until we get enough money to? But I tell you, hold on a thought because I got to take a break. Okay?
Already?
Yes.
Okay.